Anyway, there's some interesting news that came out this week with Elon, and he basically said that he made a tweet saying that they were going to unveil a Tesla robo taxi on what was it, August 8th. So do you know what a robo taxi is, Alex?
Yeah, and didn't he say it was like the $25,000 car or something like that? So I think they should be pretty efficiently produced or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think the robo taxis are something that they're going to sell as like their standalone product. They might, but what I understand is basically the robo taxis are going to be cars that are produced for the purpose of like shared transport. So ride sharing, basically. So
Mhm.
your car can autonomously go out and pick up strangers, drop them off at their location, and earn money for you while you're just kind of chilling at home.
Mhm.
And so basically, it's like an unmanned Uber, if you think about it that way.
Yeah.
And this has been in Elon Musk's. Are you familiar with his master plan that he posted on Tesla's blog? Are you familiar with that?
No.
Okay, so I think back in like 10 years, so 2006, Elon posted his master plan. And basically, the master plan consisted of four things. It was create a low volume car, which would be necessarily expensive. Use that money to develop a medium volume car at a lower price, and then use that money to create an affordable high volume car. And then on top of those three things, provide solar power. So this is like their solar roof, basically just, personal solar energy generation. Anyway, back in 2016, he posted a follow-up to that master plan. And basically that the follow-up was create stunning solar roofs with seamlessly integrated battery storage. So they've launched that product, they've delivered it. I know that has had lots of issues. I know they've not made nearly as much progress there as they wanted. I have no idea where the status of that is. And then another addition to the master plan was expand the electric vehicle product line to address all major segments, because right now, currently, they basically have sedans and SUVs.
Mhm.
And he also wanted to do like, semi trucks and pickup trucks and other parts of the ground transportation fleet.
Mhm.
And develop a self-driving capability that's 10 times safer than manual via a massive fleet of like learning vehicles. So one of the huge advantages that Tesla has is they've just been accumulating tons of driving data since they've launched. They basically have been accumulating driving data for use within their training for Tesla self-driving. And so that was one of their big things. And then the other thing was, and finally, enable your car to make money for you when you aren't using it. So it seems like he's just been slowly, consistently executing on all of these little steps. I know they've uh, the Tesla Model 3 was their kind of budget vehicle that they were planning to build, and they've launched that, and I think they've got production of that vehicle under control. I know their sales have been declining a little bit in recent quarters, but generally speaking, Elon's been hitting these goals. It's just been very late on all of them. And now he's about to unveil this robo-taxi at the end of the summer, which I think is pretty aggressive given that it doesn't seem like self-driving is there yet. I've still heard lots of concerns and complaints about Tesla full self-driving. So that'll be really interesting, but it got me thinking, right? So Elon tweeted, I think like a year ago or 2 years ago, he's also said this in interviews, that full self-driving is not a focused AI problem to solve. Full self-driving is an AGI problem, meaning like you need to solve artificial general intelligence before cars will be able to drive themselves without any intervention from a human. And I think this is pretty interesting because it kind of makes you really like wonder like how close we really are to self-driving, because I don't know, we've all the buzz lately around AI has been in these large language models, which are not at all what you would use for driving a vehicle, like driving a car. I don't even know what the structure of those models is, but it's not an LLM, that's for sure. And it got me thinking. So I was listening to this other podcast, Lex Friedman podcast with George Hotz. Do you know who George Hotz is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so George Hotz is the founder of a company called Comma.ai. Comma.ai is an open source self-driving car company. And this is pretty cool, Alex. What you can do is you can basically buy one of these Comma AI boxes. They have these little, I think they just call them like their Comma AI box or something like that. But basically, it's like an installable self-driving AI that you can put in any vehicle, not any vehicle, but you can put in vehicles that have the ability to do electronic driving. So you can like, plug in this AI box in your car, and then it can drive your car as long as your car is like a relatively new model with the electrical driving capabilities. So like it can press the gas, the brakes, turn signals, steering wheel, all that good stuff. And Comma AI is pretty interesting. So this George Hotz guy was basically saying that they're taking a different approach than something like Tesla, where Tesla is basically building on top of a bunch of different little pieces of AI, like different AI models. They're also building like policies. So think about it this way. You have AI models that are kind of scattered apart, where, maybe this AI model is for detecting signage and reading the signs and like, instructing the car how to navigate on a roadway where there's like construction signs, or there's, like the exit only signs, stuff like that, right? And then there are also, little like models for, detecting, I don't know, traffic cones and staying like lane keeping, all of those things. Also, then there's probably stuff for detecting people and passenger, pedestrians. But then there's also policies on top of that. Policies meaning somebody like a coder is like going in there and they're writing like a decision engine where, okay, we've detected a pedestrian, send that information through our policy engine, and the policy engine kind of spits out the result, meaning like this tells this policy will dictate what the car does when it sees a pedestrian. Is it going to brake? Is it going to stop? Is it going to do X, Y, Z? And George Hotz kind of famously was saying how, oh, this is the wrong approach. This doesn't make any sense. What you do need, like, Elon said it himself, self-driving is an AGI problem. You need to solve this problem end to end. So what Comma does is they basically have one model and they train this model with a bunch of driving data, and it's an end-to-end decision-making model. So the idea is that there are not many policies at all. It's mostly just the AI makes decisions when it, takes in data, and then it makes decisions based on that data. And George has a blog post that he posted very recently, which I found pretty interesting when I read it. But basically, it's a blog post kind of describing the fact that the AI of the future may not need to be a singular model with kind of like omniscient, capabilities to just like kind of give you an answer every time you give it a response. But he basically said, maybe the goal is actually just to build a better human that can evolve itself faster. Meaning, what if we can just like use AI, like all the stuff we know about, artificial intelligence now, and kind of recreate a human brain using these models, and give it the, like, whatever we have to do at the build phase, we just kind of give it the ability to evolve itself very quickly. So imagine that you have, so basically the way he describes this is like our brain is a series of like hacks, essentially. It's not just one unified model where it receives information and then it just gives a response, or it tells the body how to move. It has these little parts, right? Our brain is comprised of, hippocampus, neocortex, amygdala, all those things, right? He's basically saying we should just build models that can mimic the functions of those things. And, let's say you have one model that is, the amygdala, for instance, would, you build a model to mimic the amygdala, which just prevents the robot from destroying itself, and then a thalamus to coordinate the system and search. Transformers, right? So like a GPT as the neocortex, right? That's like the reasoning part of your brain. So you basically can like make this hodgepodge of different types of AI models to essentially recreate a human brain with AI models. And then as long as that AI model knows how to evolve itself, then you can basically simulate human evolution using computers, and you can do it much faster. And then this could be in itself a way to solve the AGI problem. And I thought that was really interesting, and it made me think of, you know, it kind of tied into how, like, you know, Elon says, oh, the self-driving problem is AGI, and George Hotz kind of said, no, it is AGI, but you need to just use a unified model to build it. And then now he kind of recently posted something that basically says, oh, you got to build a hodgepodge of different models. And it's kind of funny because it almost feels like he's like morphed back into what Tesla their approach was. So it really makes me wonder how close Tesla is to solving self-driving, because it kind of seems like they're taking the correct approach all along, which I don't know. It'll be really cool to see on the 8th of August this year. I don't know. What do you think about that? Recreating human brain with different AI models and trying to let that thing evolve.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I have no idea how it'll turn out, but sounds interesting to me.
Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Christian, any other